Hola, Louie.
Hola, Lorraine.
Louie, today we are talking about food influencers.
Oh my
and we
God.
have one of the biggest food influencers in Las Vegas with like 90,000 followers or something like that on Instagram. So he's pretty badass, Las Vegas Phil. So we are going to talk about, for pandemic provisions, we'll be talking about spots where we like to take pictures of our food and the surroundings around us.
Yeah.
And since you are the chef-tographer at chef-tographer on Instagram, I'm going to defer to you to go first.
Okay. Hands down. Gabby Coffee on Spring Mountain. That was such a pleasant surprise. I had no idea what it was at first, but a friend of mine, actually a fellow photographer, Lenani Shack, she invited me over to have some coffee there. And as soon as I walked in, I looked at the place and it was so freaking amazing.
Yes.
There's not a corner in that place that's not like picture worthy.
Yeah, we actually meet there sometimes to discuss our podcast because it's just an inspiring setting. I mean, they also have some great pastries there, some delicious coffee, and it's kind of cool how like when you get to the door and you're like, wait, what is this? It's just a big wooden door. What's behind it? There's like no sign. Just kind of adds the cool factor in that.
Exactly.
For me, I'm going to go with Greene Street Kitchen.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether it's going to open up or not because the Palms is kind of like a big question mark right now.
Yeah.
But I took Mitch there for his birthday last year, and because we wanted to see the Banksy. And there's a multi-million-dollar Banksy in there, which makes it pretty badass. Awesome street artist who's doing some amazing work during the pandemic as well. Has always been doing amazing work. And then you walk in and it's an arcade with the girl that has coins, and it has Ms. Pac-Man and Centipede. And then you walk a little bit farther and it's like a big graffiti room where it seems like you're on the street, and then you see the Banksy and more street art. So it's just one of those places where the food is also good as well. But the pictures that you can get in there are just, ones you can't get anywhere else. And we're pretty lucky to live in Las Vegas and have so many choices of places to go to.
Amazing. Yeah, it's quite amazing. There's so many Instagrammable food spots here in Las Vegas. And we want to talk to Phil about that.
Yes, we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about a lot of things that have to do with food influencers, because they are definitely influencing the way that we look at food. And in many cases, how you and I have to plate food, take pictures of food, light food. Everybody in our community, has some sort of stake in Instagram and all the other social media accounts where we have to make our food look pretty. So let's start. Louie, we are so excited to have a major food influencer with us today. Phillip Tzeng at Las Vegas Phil on Instagram. Thank you for joining us, Phil.
Thanks for having me. I'm super stoked to be here.
We're super stoked to have you. Okay, let's get into it. So, a food influencer. What does that mean to you? Do you like that title? Do you hate that title? What does it mean to be a food influencer for you?
I prefer not to use that title, although it has become the norm. So I don't really reference myself as an influencer. But I guess the idea is that, your posts, your opinion has an impact on the business that you're posting. That generally, to me, is looked upon as an influencer.
And how did you do this? How did you start this? How did this become what it is?
Yeah, is it one of those like careers, like I want to be a food influencer?
It was never ever the plan at all.
Right.
So
how do you fall into it?
Yeah, I don't know. It's been a wild journey. Ayumi, my wife, and I moved here in 06, initially because I was really into poker. And then after about 3 months of partying, I figured I needed to get a job. I went through all this stuff. And so my first job, I was a swing shift. And so I was basically looking for a place to go to eat after 11 p.m. And Yelp around 2008, 2009 was really the only place where I could find stuff. And then from there, I was writing reviews. And then that kind of snowballed into gaining an actual following on Yelp. And that's how I initially got my first kind of notice from the Vegas public, was from my Yelp reviews. And so for a while I was Yelp famous, and then I saw eventually in 2017, 2018, all these other foodies just doing it differently through Instagram. And a couple of Instagrammers at the time, Heyo Miyachi, who's Mimi Garcia, actually encouraged me to join Instagram, and that's how I kind of got sucked into the whole thing. Right.
Did you have to like get a background of like photography and food photography, or did you just like jump into it, you know, from like an inner nature? Is it like a real talent that you just kind of like honed over time?
Well, thank you for considering it a talent, but I've never taken a photography class. I still use my phone for all the videos and all the pictures. I'm still trying to find my way through it, and I still learn from foodies I hang out with because they all work differently too. And I love meeting new foodies and all that stuff. And so I kind of grab a little bit from what everyone else is doing.
Yeah, because from a photographer standpoint, like it's really important to like hone that skill. It's not actually like the camera that you possess, because I love my iPhone too. I absolutely love my iPhone too, but it's learning to work with it.
I always want to get better at short videos and things like that. And since the lockdown had started, I actually had time to like practice and see what worked, see what didn't. And that really has taken things to a different level for the account for me. So yeah, that's been good, been cool too.
Amazing. Good job.
Phil, we've got to ask you a pretty difficult question for you, since all you do is take pictures all day of food. What would you say, and we're only going to give you 3, you can't cheat, your top 3 most Instagrammable spots for taking pictures of food?
Ooh.
It's like asking him to pick his favorite children.
His favorite pet.
Yeah.
I know.
And people out there, don't be pissed off if he doesn't pick you. It's okay, like, because we have a ton of chefs and like restaurants. Listen, but like, just, you know, you go there and you know for a fact that you're going to get great pictures every single time. Shout them out. Okay,
so Joe's. I love seafood, so Joe's, the Alaskan king crab, stone crab, all the steaks. That's a layup every single time.
Yeah.
Buldogi's, because their hot dogs are out of this world. Piled high with spicy pork bulgogi and kimchi and whatever else. So that's always a done deal. And then, number 3.
Last one.
Short thing.
He's really agonizing the way you can
tell. Well, I was recently
about to break a sweat.
And then that was freaking amazing. And they did a great job with the Peking duck, and anytime I can shoot that, it's always a fun thing. And so I guess I'll go with that as number 3. But that's tough.
That's 32. Yeah, I'm 32.
I could probably do 7 more.
Yeah, of course,
right?
Especially in this town.
Yeah.
This is an important question. What's your best angle for food porn pictures? Do you go below? Do you go above? Because I noticed that like kind of people do like, I'm going to go above and stand on top of a chair, or I'm going to go down low and make it look really big. Like, what's the sexy shot? Where's that?
Oh, so it's different every time. It's based on the subject. It's based on the bowl and the food. But generally, I think lower is better. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times now, when you hold the phone to where the lens is on the bottom,
okay,
shooting this way with the lens down here instead, that helps a lot, especially with weird table angles with the phone. So I've been doing that a lot. I learned that from a couple other foodies, but
that's a good tip.
The money angle,
the money shot.
I know. So for like Joe's, it would definitely be up top. For something like noodles, I prefer to be down low. Yeah, it really depends on the subject.
Do you ever get annoyed by those like, and I don't honestly get annoyed by them, but it's funny. It's like chefs using truffles. It's kind of like oh, you just use truffles. Like with food photography, I almost wonder is like the cheese pull or the noodle pull or like something that's just super like obvi, or do you just kind of get a kick out of just it being kitschy and cheesy? Literally.
I totally get a kick out of it. When I'm at like a Shang or something like that, and there's another table just taking photos and having fun. I mean, that's what it's all about.
Yeah. Shit. Just go for it. Be dorky about it, right?
Totally.
How many cheese pulls have you ever seen in your whole entire life? Probably more than the average.
Let's say we'd average maybe 2 a week for the last 3 years.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah.
I got to ask you about this because this is something that completely annoys my husband. Mm-hmm. Does it annoy your wife when she wants to eat? She's freaking hungry. She wants food. And you're like, no, don't touch it. I need to take a picture first. At some point, is she just like, Phil, stop taking pictures and just eat your damn food?
So one thing I've been super lucky about is Ayumi is really into this as well. And actually a lot of my best shots, a lot of my best videos, I mean, she is like my director, the style director on how things are laid out. Best place to shoot, how she opens up and cuts steaks and things like that. So I'm in a very unique and lucky position where that isn't my deal. Although we've been, of course, when I eat with other foodies with their plus ones, you can definitely tell that they're sometimes annoyed, but you know, I mean, they're eating for free. So what am I supposed to say?
I know as chefs, we go to restaurants a lot because we like to support our friends, and also chefs like to take care of other chefs. So usually when we go, they'll just totally overdo stuff around us, just to the point, like it's almost like a joke, like how many things can we send you to just make you freaking miserable? I know that like it would kind of be the case for like a food influencer or a food photographer as well, because it's like, ooh, let me put more stuff in front of you to take pictures of because it's, you know, publicity for them.
Yeah.
So do you ever get literally sick and tired of going out to eat? Because I mean, I can't imagine, you're saying no already, but do you ever get sick, like physically? Because I mean, are you like, I need Tums and like, you know, something to just get over this like stomach?
Oh, I think an appropriate question is like, do you eat everything that you shoot?
Yes.
And is it possible?
Yes.
Oh, yes, Louis.
So specifically for my account, if I didn't eat it, I'm pretty much not going to post it. If I hated it, I'm not going to post it. And if it really sucked, I will tell the owner why I'm not going to post anything because it sucked. So.
Wow.
Thank you for the honesty. I like that.
Yeah. Sincerity is something I kind of take seriously with this, and because so often, like you see what foodies post and then you have to DM them and ask them, okay, so how really was this food? Because it looks cool, but who fucking knows? So,
right.
So I think I'm in a different place. But as far as bringing tons of items, yeah, they definitely do that because that could be one extra post that I could do later on, or a really captivating story. I know for sure dinner is generally going to be a car crash. So breakfast and lunch are pretty light, as light as possible. Maybe something, if I try to do one plant-based meal a day to kind of balance it out, and hot yoga helps too. So
that was my next question. Like you actually have to like condition your body for your line of work, basically.
I don't know if I'm trying to prepare a little bit, but it's not like, you know, I'm talking to Kobayashi or something where you know, going to town like that. But yeah, I mean, breakfast is always interesting because there's a ton of leftovers of the last 3 nights. But yeah, I would try to balance it out for sure.
All right, Phil, you lived in Japan before you moved here to Las Vegas for a couple of years.
I did. Yeah.
And I have a few questions about Japan because I'm kind of obsessed with it. So what's the most bizarre food find in Japan? Because I've seen some crazy ass videos of Japan. Like once I saw a curry place where they had bowls shaped like toilets. And so when you open like the there was
It's
like
super
curry
crazy
inside,
there.
and I just wanted to like gag.
How could you eat that? Yeah.
But seriously, like, what are some of the things that you saw in Japan where you were like, no way?
Okay, the wildest thing, two, horse sashimi.
Oh, whoa. Take it
Yeah.
back. Take it back.
No.
I know. They
Yeah.
serve that at izakayas in the town I used to live in.
Okay.
I just got chills.
I know. And
was
then
it
the
was
biggest
it a rural
one
town? It was
it
rural.
was a city called Toyohashi. It's about 500,000 people.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I rode my bike everywhere.
Right. You didn't see horses around.
I didn't see horses around. I don't know where they came from.
We know where they are.
Did it taste like chicken?
It tasted like
Black Beauty.
well, no, more beefy. Yeah.
It's
I guess.
like Bambi almost.
Oh.
Mine was like that
No.
marshmallow appeal.
Oh. Okay, what was the other thing, Phil?
And number one was definitely, and I know Raku is serving it now over here, but raw chicken.
Oh yeah. I saw that. Chicken sashimi.
No.
Yeah.
I would probably only do that if it was Endo Mitsui that was preparing it. Like I wouldn't trust it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trust anybody else.
Yeah, he's the only one that could get away with it in Vegas. And even then, I'm trying to get some friends to go and they're not down. So
yeah, I'm not.
I'll go with you. I'll go with you.
Okay.
You got Louis.
Yeah. But let's do a challenge.
And you're going to be doing a podcast even if you have salmonella, Louis.
Right. I know.
So this was a local place with a farm basically in the back. They served it chirashi style. So you had these long kind of slivers of raw chicken with seaweed and sushi rice and wasabi and all the fixins. And I went with Ayumi at that time, and it took me about 20 minutes to really get myself to eat it. She's looking at me like, what the fuck's wrong with you? And I'm like, well, you have no idea. Like, as an American, this is like the wrongest thing you can fucking eat.
Yeah.
And after I put up on my food Japan blog, my mom calls me at like 3 a.m. She's like, what are you doing?
What you put in your mouth, son?
I know. But it was, let me tell you, once I got over it, it was so damn good. I actually went back again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of raw food, because you just gave 2 raw things,
Sure.
If I was in Japan for years, I would just go flipping sushi nuts. So did you go sushi crazy?
Absolutely. So I lived in New York City for 10 years before I moved to Japan. So where sushi was never like a cheap thing to have, it was always a splurge.
Mm-hmm.
And then to go to like just a local supermarket, and where after 9 p.m., like there's a guy with stickers putting half price things on all the big sushi boxes, and all the single men, including me, are just kind of hovering around like sharks,
right,
waiting to take the sushi. So I was literally eating sushi 3 times a day. I couldn't get over it.
Wow.
I loved it.
Yeah.
How about it? The sushi culture there is pretty amazing.
Of course.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And pretty, and it's for everyone, basically.
Yeah. Otoro.
Sure.
Okay, so this is another loaded question for you then. Since you have that background of being in Japan for a period of time and having the best sushi in the world because it's from damn Japan, for God's sakes, what's your favorite Japanese restaurant here?
Oh,
Kame.
Man.
It's Kame.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
Eric Kim, he does such a great job with like styling and curating. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Every time I go, it's a stellar experience. Doesn't pull any punches ever, and it's just, I love the new space, the new bar program, he has. And then, if I'm going to name a couple others, Kaiseki Yuzu, incredible.
Yeah.
The new space is unbelievable, and the course dinners are wild.
So Phil, you jumped careers like me, completely different careers. So
Yep.
I believe that
I love that, by the way.
I believe that I read that in New York you were in the music industry and that you got sick of it. So how do you go? And that's actually like seems like it'd be like a pretty awesome job. So why did you leave that? And like, do you like this better? Obviously you do, but why do you like it better, what you do now, rather than being in the music industry?
So it was a mix of the music industry and then just living in New York. I was just sick of the winters, and I was sick of paying $500 to park a car monthly and stuff like that. Right. So yeah, I went to college as a music major. I played guitar and then went into music business, and then music business just turned into business. And then that just sucked.
Yeah.
So I remember like doing a pitch to some record company about JoJo early on when she was about to start her career in marketing and stuff. And I'm like, man, like the 18-year-old me would fucking hate me right now. This is some bullshit. And like, so yeah, I felt like I was due for a really drastic life change, and Japan was definitely that. Sold my apartment, I got rid of everything, and just moved over there and taught English. So it was the greatest thing I ever did.
Since you take pictures all the time with your phone, and most of us, that's how we take them nowadays, unless you're Louis Victa and you're a professional food photographer with your crazy cameras. Most of us take pictures with our phones. So if you could give, us casual food photography people, just like 1 or 2 tips that you think could just totally change the way they do it. Because like I see so many bad lighting photos, I see so many like weird angles and all kinds of things. I'm like, this doesn't even look good, this doesn't want to make me eat it. Like, what are some quick tips for them?
Right.
Sure. So for IG, a couple of quick tips. You definitely always want to shoot vertically on the phone instead of horizontally. Those generally perform better on IG. Also, I would suggest bringing a photo light. A lot of great restaurants, like Momofuku or Partage or something like that, where it's just way too dark to take the beautiful food. I would strongly recommend having a light, or if you have an option, take it outside, where in kind of like a lightly shaded area, but with good lighting. Those would be the big things. Also, framing is super important. I see a lot of badly framed photos. So perhaps maybe just shooting a little bit further away and then zoom in for the post.
And crop later. Yeah.
Crop. Yeah.
If you're in a pinch in time, zoom out, but not as much as you sacrifice your pixelage. Basically, you need to use all your pixels and stuff like that, and then make that decision in post. And you can always revert back.
And Louis, since you're the professional photographer, give us like one big tip, Phil and me.
One big tip?
Yeah, one big tip for our social media accounts to make them sexier. I know you've got a million, but give us like one big one that you're like, oh man, I wish people would do this.
Well, you know what? I love natural light. And that's what we do. We bring in our strobes to mimic that natural light. So that's how you can utilize your best pixelage and best angles. And it's all about like finding the best angle of lighting that'll accentuate whatever's on your plate, basically. Like you don't want hard shadows, so you can't like. Usually think of it as a window, like coming in from like a nice window like this. So it's like nice and gentle and filtered. You don't want anything harsh, like somebody shine the flashlight on your plate.
Yeah.
No hard shadows like that, because that's going to affect color too.
Yeah.
So yeah, be gentle, play with it a little bit. If you want to show texture, kind of just move your light around, experiment. And that's my big tip. Just
that's how you're with women too, right, Louis?
Yeah, right.
Be gentle. It's like your love making as well.
Yeah. No, just be gentle. You don't want an overblown photo. Yeah. It's a process. It's home.
And at that, we're going to move on to Two Sharp Chefs Show and Tell. Mr. Phillip Tzeng, what do you have to share with the class today?
So it's my photo light.
Perfect segue.
Yeah, I don't leave home without it, and it's the best thing. The only thing that is really the only reason why I'm doing this full time is because of this light.
Told you.
So, yeah.
Talk to us about that light too, because I always am looking for stuff. So tell us about this one.
Right. So no, it's just a $60 Gigalumi light. I've dropped it several times. It's probably on its last legs. You look really close. There's about 7 different sauces inside the vents here.
All the mother sauces.
Right. And I pray it never dies, but I feel like it's on its last legs. I've had this one for about 3 years. It's super dependable. I like how you can set it from white to orange, which I never use the orange anyway, but But yeah, it's been super helpful for me, and it's probably the biggest reason why people follow my account is because of the light.
All right, so Louie, get your timer ready, sweetheart, because we are moving to On the Fly with Phillip Tzeng. Las Vegas Phil on Instagram. It is 60 seconds.
Timer.
Rapid fire questions. You have to answer them quickly, just like a chef puts entrees up on the pass that quickly. Are you ready, Louie?
I am. Here we go. And 3, 2, 1.
Outside of food, favorite thing to photograph?
My dogs.
Cat or dog person, but you already answered it.
Best photo filter?
Oh, no filter.
Ah.
Yeah, I edited a little bit in Snapseed later, but I don't have a standard thing. It's different. So
I love you, Phil. I love you. Anything you won't eat? A definite no.
But I really have a strong distaste for cilantro.
Oh.
To me, it tastes like shaved Irish Spring. Like somebody just went, put it down.
That's a real thing. That's a real thing.
It's a real thing.
Fave dining partner?
Definitely my wife. So, outside of that, I don't know. Actually, no. There's no second. Okay. Yeah.
Good answer. Best self-care move?
I guess I since lockdown started, I've been using Glow, the yoga app, and that's been super helpful.
Nice.
So it's a great way to get a workout in without being around other people. So.
Favorite cuisine?
Probably Japanese sushi. Yeah, I could eat sushi every day.
Go ahead, Lou. Do a couple more.
What's your go-to upset stomach remedy when you get too full? Or is there such a thing as too full?
Do you have like a perfect pill or something
like
that?
a Phil endorsed Tums or something?
I'd probably just green tea.
Green tea is good.
You're so Asian like us.
Yeah,
awesome.
I know. Hot green tea.
And last thing we're going to ask you to do, Phil, is to sell it. This is the time in the program where chefs sell their food. You can sell your account. You can sell whatever you want. You could sell world peace. What would you like to sell today? Go ahead, Phil.
If you want pointers, you can always DM me. A lot of people do, and I'll critique or rip apart your account. You want me to. I can do that, Las Vegas Phil. Otherwise, on a more serious note, online bullying is a real thing. And I just, especially with how crazy the world is, I mean, people got to be careful and really think about when they're going to make a crazy comment, because it does, it totally affects other people. I mean, I don't even know how some of these lifestylers deal with being out there so much with their face and their body and their style and get ripped apart like that. And it's, they think it's just whatever because they say it, but it's not. So.
Yeah, be kind.
Yeah.
That's a
be
good
positive. One. Yes, be kind.
Sure.
Yes, be kind and be positive. Phil, thank you so much. You can watch this on YouTube. You can listen to this on your favorite podcast app. You were awesome, Phil. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Really appreciate having me. It was so fun.
Thank you.